Let's take a look at some budget-friendly options for your next airsoft optic. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane and welcome to the BB Warrior. This channel is all about helping you to have the best time possible on the airsoft field, and one of the most important accessories that you can put on your airsoft replica is a nice, high-quality optic. However, there are tons of options out there. You can literally spend thousands of dollars, and for airsoft, I think there's things that will work perfect for us as players that come in at a much more affordable price tag, like the optics from Pinty. Now, they were kind enough to send me this out for today's video. However, I am not being paid by them. I said, hey, I want to take a look at this optic and give my brutally honest opinion, and they were totally cool with that, which I got to give them props for. So this is their red dot site. They have a ton of different options on their website, and it comes in at around $50, which I think is really a good price point for airsoft optics, because if you go super cheap, you're just going to get something that doesn't work well. You're going to get a dot that isn't crisp, that flickers in and out, and you can spend a ton more money on optics, but I think that's overkill for airsoft. There's a certain limitation that we have by using airsoft guns, and there's a point of precision that really goes beyond our need as players. So taking a look at these red dots, I think that they are an incredibly high quality and high value product for what you're getting for around $50. These come in these nice little carrying cases here. It comes with the hardware you're going to need to mount it, comes with a cleaning cloth, and again, for that $50 price point, they didn't need to include stuff like that. I think it just helps to make these even greater value for these little cases. Personally, I like them a lot, and I'm actually going to put some of the stuff that I don't want to get broken down on my kit, like my batteries are going to go in here, stuff like that, so I can have a little hard case on my kit while I play airsoft. But back to the optic itself. It's what you want from an airsoft optic that doesn't come at a horrible price tag. It's solid. If you bang it up against walls or something like that, it's not going to snap off and fall to the ground. The red dot itself is crisp and it has a ton of different brightness settings. And the one that I like about this optic personally, and the reason why I chose it, is the battery is stored on the inside of the mount. This is admittedly kind of a tall optic for this particular gun. This is my Stoner 63. But because the battery is stored inside and this one uses a CR123A, I personally like that because I'm trying to get everything on my kit. All of my electronics, whether it be night vision, flashlights, lasers, optics as well, to use the same battery. That way I don't have to carry a bunch of different batteries on me. But I like that it does that and it's mounted right into the optic itself. It helps to provide a little bit of height. I know that's the big trendy thing right now, is having your optics higher up off the gun. And then it has some really simple adjustment features. It has a little plastic button on the side that lets you either increase or decrease the brightness. Holding both of them down will shut the optic off after a couple of seconds. And for being an affordable red dot, it has a lot of different brightness settings, and even as you get to those higher brightness settings, the quality of the dot is not lost. On a lot of really cheap optics out there, as you increase in brightness, it gets kind of fuzzy, it gets harder to see. Even if it's a super bright summer day, you're still going to be able to use this and still be able to make some highly accurate shots. It can also go down pretty low if you're going to play at an indoor field, for instance. It's not going to be too much and really hamper your sight picture. So I think overall, for being around $50, it's a great bargain deal for sure. It also comes with some other cool little accessories, like this one has the little bikini covers, which again, it's not something they had to add for the low price point, but I really like those because I can cover the optic, and because this is on a machine gun, when I go to replace my belt, I have to bring it up like this, and I like just having a little barrier to make sure that the optic doesn't get damaged in those moments. Now, the cool thing about Pinty is they have a ton of different options out there for optics, and they're all the same on the inside. They use the same technology, which means if you want something like this, that's cool, but maybe you want something a little bit more old school, or you want something a little bit more futuristic. There's a ton of different options that they have on their website for whatever aesthetic you're looking for. If you're trying to do cosplay, if you're trying to do an impression, or hey, maybe you want to do something sci-fi in airsoft. I feel like there's something that kind of fits the bill for all of those different styles of play, and at the same time, they're all using that same red dot technology, so no matter which one you're using, you're going to get the same dot quality, just in a different external package, which I really like. One of the other cool things is they have a ton of different options for height. So whether you're trying to co-witness with a sight on a standard M4, for instance, if you're trying to meet up with a flip to side magnifier or something like that, if you have cool mounts like the Unity system, they make optics for those specific heights. So you get a lot of those features and the modularity that you'd get from optics that are 10 times the cost of these if you're going to buy an EOTech or something, you can use those platforms with these affordable red dots from Pinty, which I think is super cool because, most of Airsoft is just fashion. We all want to look cool, but having the functionality as well for such an affordable price tag, I think it's a great deal. Now, I do want to say one of the cool things about Pinty is if you go to their website, pintydevices.com, stuff's almost always on sale, so you're never paying full retail. The last time I checked, this optic was on sale as well, and I'll have all that linked down in the description below. And one thing I did want to point out as we kind of talk about some of my critiques for these is something that I want to point out that confused me is Pinty actually recently acquired a brand called Hiram. If you take a look at the other side of this optic, you can see it says Hiram on there. And I reached out, and according to the sales rep over at Pinty, they are now the same company, and some models will still have this stamped on there, but it's the same quality, it's the same tech on the inside. So if you had that question that I had, that is something to be aware of. They're the exact same thing. So in terms of critiques, I think that these are great for Airsoft, but beyond that is where I'd get a little bit skeptical. I looked at some other reviews online of people putting these on actual rifles, and that's where you started to see some issues. If you're taking a $50 optic and you expect it to survive on a 7.62 battle rifle, that's where you're going to run into some issues. But I think with Airsoft, in terms of either AEGs, which are the most common and don't have any recoil, or if you're throwing it on a gas gun that has the recoil of basically a 22, these are going to be perfectly fine. One thing I would recommend, which is something I recommend with all optics, is if you're going to put the optic on a gas gun, make sure that you're using a little bit of blue Loctite. You can buy it from Amazon, the hardware store. It's like $5, and that'll just keep the optic from rattling off. But I do the same thing with every optic on a gas or a real firearm. But I think for Airsoft, in conclusion, Pinty's optics are perfectly fine for Airsoft. I think that if you just need something that works, it has a nice crisp dot, maybe you have a ton of different Airsoft guns and you want to make sure they all have their own dedicated optic, these fit the bill perfectly. They're that nice level of being affordable, but still high quality. And honestly, especially because they're always on sale, I think you're getting quite a bargain if you pick one of these up. Are they the best optic in the world? Would I trust my life with them? No. But at the same time, I wouldn't trust most of the stuff I use for Airsoft to protect my life if I was in one of those situations. Again, a huge thank you to Pinty, not only for sending out this optic, but for being totally cool with me being blatantly honest in my review of it. I think I definitely want to do some more videos on these. They make some magnified optics, they make flip-to-side magnifiers. So there's some other stuff from Pinty that I'm really excited to test and see how it holds up to Airsoft. I think a gas blowback stress test would be really cool in the next video. So if you guys want to see me do that with a Pinty optic, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. But that's going to do it for today. My name is Lane, and I'll see you all next time.